Regular day becomes unforgettable when a weird creature pops up on the seashore.
But before we start, please take a moment to give this video a like, subscribe to HappyWorld, and hit the bell so you'll never miss these great stories.
Underneath the sea, there lies a whole different world, and humans have been equally interested in the underwater world and stories as much as the non-earthly creatures, i.e. aliens and UFOs. We know almost everything about the sea, but not everything. We all have heard stories of mysterious creatures that live in the deep sea. Mermaids, monsters, dragons, serpents, and many more that people have claimed to have seen with no proof. Although science too uses the term sea monsters for huge sea creatures like whales and colossal squids. But we're not going to tell you something that you'll doubt. This story is that of one fateful encounter with quite an active sea creature that made the day a memorable one for every person who was present at the very moment. It was a regular day at Vancouver Beach in British Columbia, southern Canada. A normal beach scene with the sun shining bright and a holiday spirit. Some were playing volleyball, some were sunbathing, a few families were enjoying their picnic, and the rest were out there for quality peacetime. It was a calm afternoon and everyone was enjoying it in their own way until one person who was there just to relax figured out something unusual. For the rest, it remained a regular day, but for this man, let's call him John, it was a moment he'd never forget. John's plan for the day was to stay back and give his body and mind as much privilege to rest. He was lucky enough that he didn't have to recall all that was about to happen next. Whenever he talks about the incident now, he can simply show the video that actually went viral overnight at the very same moment the guy noticed something strange, and someone behind him decided to record it on their cell phone. One person was curious enough to know what this creature was, and another was ready to shoot it at the same time. What were the odds? The result that came of their bonding is now appreciated across the globe. So, it's a sunny day with sand and shade, everyone having fun. Out of the blue, a weird-looking thing appears. It's floating. Looking at this thing from afar, John felt like sitting up to get a clearer view. It could be something like trash or driftwood or dead fish or squid. In case it's alive, it could be any deadly sea creature as well, which meant he couldn't just jump out and see what it was, especially when he was aware of the fact that this beach has a dark past. You just have to see what happened next when John made a decision. The Vancouver shores are known for their unfortunate past events, wherein the sea creatures have harmed people at different points in time, or at least that's what the rumors are. At one time, a kayaker said he saw a couple of orca whales playing, and once a debate went on about a close encounter with a gray whale. The place stays crowded, but stories like this made people more alert, and so John was scared to take a step forward. Question is, why should he take the risk? There's a reason why he was ready to take this risk. You're aware of many incidents when poor sea creatures in need of human help approach people. Countless of those types of videos are on YouTube, and there was a chance that it was an animal like that trapped in wires or covered in industrial oil, or maybe hurt or injured or sick. It could be that the creature lost track of its way and was now forced to the shore by the waves. He wanted to help this little creature if there was a tiny possibility that it was indeed a living creature in need of help. But soon John realized he wasn't the only one there to notice this weird thing, and that people were quickly reaching it. There were other people who were noticing it from a distance and were slowly moving in the direction of it. Seeing other people around it gave them a feeling of support, and no one was really scared anymore. They were standing right there on the shore and waiting for this thing that was directly heading towards them. They decided not to get into the water as this was way too risky, especially when the Vancouver beaches were closed for quite a while because of the high level of E. coli in the waters. But recently the beaches were declared swimming friendly. Honestly, they were standing there trying to guess what this thing is and trying to record the moment in their phones in case it comes up as something worth keeping a memory of. And it exceeded all their expectations. The beachgoers who were with their kids were maintaining a distance as a precaution if this thing was harmful in any way. And the rest, who were now certain that it wasn't a piece of log or any of the trash but some sea animal for sure, and alive too, tried swimming towards it. As it was floating and moving in a different direction as the water, it was surely ready to head towards the shore, and people also wanted to see this creature on the sand. So everyone was eagerly waiting for this thing to hit the land, but that wasn't about to happen. When the long wait was over, the sea creature turned and headed to a part of the sea where it was hard to record it. While everyone, including John, was trying to figure out what it is, he was ready to give it a shot. He did something everyone criticized him for, but he didn't care about people's opinions at that moment, and that's the reason why it became a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So what did he do? Or what did the creature do? Bit him or something worse? Was he being crazy or did excitement take over? John was equally clueless and no one else, but he decided to jump into the waves and get closer to the mysterious being. Within seconds, he was right there and this creature was swimming around him. He wasn't hesitating and his brave decision also revealed the true identity of the creature. But there was one piece that was confusing. As to what he was thinking, it seemed like a rare creature for the location, rare enough that it was never seen on any Vancouver beaches ever before. They live on their own so much that they keep a few stones in their loose skin and armpits to crack open clams. However, contrary to their solitary lives, they do sleep holding hands to keep themselves together. They just float on the water's surface and dive in to get food. Food's more than just important for them as they eat more than 25% of their body weight each day. Hungry enough. Can't guess? Well, we're talking about the animal with the densest hair on this planet, 1 million hairs per square inch. You nearly got it. When this creature was getting close to him, John realized it was an otter. If you know anything about otters at all, then you'll be knowing that they're not used to getting close to humans, and there have been incidents related to the same where otters have attacked humans. Yet this was going to be the most unusual encounter with an otter ever. A few years back, a river otter attacked Sydney Sainsbury, a Montana woman who was floating on the river. She was tubing down the Madison River at the time she first saw the otter about 20 feet away. According to her, the moment she looked at the otter, it suddenly attacked her. After the incident, she received 8 stitches on her head. It was just on me. I was just attaching itself to me and biting me, so it was really hard to get it off me. And that was what was really scary, was being mauled like a rodent-type animal that I was never scared of before. She recalled the unprovoked attack in an interview. Similarly, an otter seemed to be cute to an older woman until it attacked her while she was kayaking. So now you know in what situation John had put himself in. Don't go on their cute images and adorable smiles. If we tell you about male otters' behavior towards female otters, you'll be forced to change your mind about these so-called lovable animals. Male otters are quite violent in nature when it comes to sexual intercourse. They just keep biting their female partner's face while they're at it just to maintain the grip. As a result, the females get lots of facial wounds. Many poor females die because of drowning or due to infectious wounds, which is a very common thing to happen according to the stats. Are these otters equally violent towards all other creatures? What will happen to poor John? Now, having heard that, you surely understand the seriousness of the situation John was in. As the number of female otters is fewer, male otters even have sex with baby seals. Otters don't stop even when the baby dies of trauma, as they are known to copulate with their bodies for over a week. Scientists call this behavior misdirected sexual activity. This is some serious stuff we've just discussed, and now you know one other dark side of otters too. But John was gonna be lucky that day. Otters are generally said to be very active and playful animals. The otters that people usually encounter are river otters. Sea otters are rarely seen. In fact, 90% of sea otters spend most of their lives on the coast of Alaska. Then what was this one doing here, so far from the place it belongs? And on top of it, what was it doing getting this close to people? Just for your information, it's not normal at all if a sea otter comes to any random seashore like this. As we told you, an otter's never seen on the beach in Vancouver. The person might have thought of it to be a dog or cat who swam far off to reach the land. But it was an otter, and for goodness sake it seems to be in a good mood. The otter was holding John's leg and kind of playing with him. And when a cute-looking animal does that, who would stay behind from caressing it? A group of otters sleeps by holding hands, and they're known as a raft. And the baby otters, called pups, sleep on top of their mothers as their fur is too thick to float. Now this is even more questionable. Animals like otters who believe in sticking around each other can stay apart and go as far as the shore. This beast was getting friendly, and John showed guts to touch this furry creature that seemed to be wild but joyful. Well, let's just tell you that nothing was casual at all about this, as the otter did the most extraordinary thing. The otter went on giving the most unexpected reaction to his first human contact. As otters have no blubber and their furry skin surely doesn't allow them to stay in warmer places, and this wasn't a good place for the otter to be in. At this point, even if this otter was lost, getting close to him with bare legs and no protection wasn't good. However, this little dude was here with a mission to change humans' perspective about otters, and he succeeded. While John was making the best of this moment, the rest of the onlookers were worried if this friendly fuzzy otter might bite him. They were concerned, and they were enjoying this otter's playful nature at the same time. For a moment, everyone's heart stopped when this otter acted in an obvious manner. The otter grabbed John's right leg with both his front hands and brought his mouth close to him. Everybody surrounding him thought, "This is it." And the otter at first kind of bit him a little bit, but the man stood there calmly as he knew he was reacting to it loudly won't be any help. Even John's heart started beating faster than ever before, but as we said, this otter was here to surprise everyone, not do the obvious. Most of the crowd now gathering close to the otter, and John screamed out of fear for this young man getting bitten. The guy called trouble on himself, and he himself was going to be responsible for anything that goes wrong. To everyone's surprise, the otter didn't bite John. It seemed more like a tight hug, which was almost unbelievable. The otter wasn't done yet, though. The otter left John's leg and started trying to climb on him as toddlers do. First, it grabbed onto his shorts and then tried to get a grip on his teeth. But it couldn't exactly get there, and no doubt his grip was a bit harsh too. It was like a game, and everyone watching was enjoying it. Even zookeepers maintain distance from these creatures and only get close to them while they're in their safety costumes. The otter, after giving this man kiddish nips on his bare legs and failing to climb up, made his way away from him as if it was upset, acting hungry and would rather eat John before finding any fish. Something came to his mind and he suddenly turned in the opposite direction away from John. Only God knows what would ever come to his mind that he turned around and came back to John then. The otter returned to John, and after doing all he could, the otter was amusing everyone on the beach. He made his way back to the guy and was sniffing him this time. Maybe he found food in a guy? Not only John, but everyone at the beach was feeling lucky to be there to welcome this little sober-looking monster. And John wasn't touching the otter this time like the first time, but he stayed still without moving, just recording on his phone, and that was enough for him. Seemed like he didn't want to take any more risks than he'd already taken already. Otters aren't migratory animals. They prefer to stay close to each other in their original environment. They are found in most parts of the world, but there are almost 13 different types of otters, which means they have their own area and stay in their own sea boundaries. This differently behaving sea otter was just not ready to leave John. Playtime was over and the otter was ready to go back on its way, trying to find his troop where they belong. It was time for him to get back to his search operation, and after a bit of fun, he was ready to head back to the ocean. The question everyone was left with was, why was he so friendly?